I had just moved to this small town with my family, far from the city I'd been used to. The town was quiet, almost too quiet. So quiet that it made me feel like I was living in some strange dream, a place where people came and went in the shadows. It was a cold November night when I started my first job. At 18, fresh out of high school, I was eager to take on the world. Everyone said that working at Walmart was a rite of passage. They had all done it at some point. So I applied, and after about a week, they finally called me in for an interview. I got the job, midnight to 8 a.m., the late shift. It wasn't glamorous, but I needed the money, and it was better than nothing, I thought. The first night on the job was eerie, but I tried not to let it bother me. The store was almost empty, except for a few late-night shoppers who drifted down the aisles, gathering snacks or last-minute essentials. The lights above buzzed faintly, casting a cold, sterile glow over the floors. I was assigned to the toy aisle, which felt a little weird to me. I thought I'd be stocking groceries or something, but the shift supervisor, an older guy with graying hair and thick glasses, handed me a walkie-talkie and mumbled, "Toys are a mess, kid. Get started." Grudgingly, I walked to the toy section. The aisles were dusty and the shelves were disorganized, like no one had bothered to put anything back where it belonged for ages. As I started to tidy up, I couldn't shake this odd feeling that something wasn't right. The store felt off. It was too quiet, too empty. Obviously, I said to myself, we're closed. I kept getting the feeling like there was something lurking just out of sight. Around 2 a.m., the first weird thing happened. I was alone in the aisle trying to figure out where to put a stray teddy bear when I heard it. A whisper, soft and almost imperceptible, like someone calling my name. I froze. The sound came from the aisle next to mine. I glanced around but didn't see anyone. Maybe it was just the air conditioning or a weird echo in the store. The longer I stood there, though, the more the hairs on the back of my neck stood up. I shook my head, trying to dismiss it. Probably just tired, I whispered to myself. I didn't hear it again, but I couldn't shake the feeling that I wasn't alone. By 3 a.m., I was already on edge. The store felt cold and wet. The flickering lights above seemed to cast shadows that moved by themselves, like something was stalking me through the aisles. And that voice, the whisper of my name, was still in the back of my mind. It was an hour later when I heard footsteps, slow and deliberate, echoing through the vast emptiness of the store. They were coming from the other end, getting closer, but when I turned the corner to look, no one was there. My stomach dropped, and I called out into the silence. "Hello?" No answer. I told myself it was nothing, just nerves. But the more I walked through the store, the more I felt someone watching me. I tried to focus on the work, straightening the shelves, arranging the toys, but my heart wasn't in it. The store felt suffocating, and every little noise made my skin crawl. At around 4 a.m., I found myself near the back of the store, standing in front of a shelf that had been badly disorganized. I was just starting to straighten some picture frames when I heard it again. That whisper. It was right behind me. My blood ran cold. I whirled around, but there was nothing there. Just the empty aisles stretching out before me, bathed in the harsh glow of the flickering lights. I didn't know what to do. My body was frozen in place, and for a moment I just stood there, staring at the empty space around me, hoping the voice would stop. But then I saw something, a shadow, just out of the corner of my eye. It moved so quickly, too fast for me to focus on it, but it was there, something darting between the shelves. My breath caught in my throat, and I felt my pulse race. My legs felt heavy, but somehow I managed to move. I backed away slowly, my eyes never leaving the spot where I had seen the shadow. I tried to take a break and clear my head, hoping this would change things. By 5 a.m., I could barely keep my eyes open. I was exhausted, but I also couldn't ignore the growing sense of anxiety that was crawling under my skin. The air in the store felt thicker now, heavier, hotter, and I could still hear the faint echoes of those footsteps that were in the store with me, and I wasn't sure I wanted to find out where they came from. I was in the back stockroom moving boxes around when I heard it again, the slow, dragging footsteps, the ones that had been following me all night. They were coming from behind a shelf, in the shadowed storage area where no one ever went. My breath caught in my throat, and I knew I couldn't ignore it anymore. I walked toward the noise, every step feeling like it was pulling me closer to something terrible. When I reached the corner, I finally saw it. A woman, pale, thin, almost translucent. Her eyes were deep, black, empty sockets staring straight at me. Her mouth moved, but no words came out. Then I finally heard it. I didn't scream. My body froze, my heart pounding in my chest. I wanted to run, but I couldn't look away. The woman's eyes never left mine. She didn't move, but I could feel her presence pressing in, suffocating me. Then with a jolt, I snapped out of it. I turned and ran, my heart pounding in my ears, my legs moving faster than they ever had. I didn't stop until I burst through the doors into the main store, gasping for air. The sun was beginning to rise outside. I didn't stop to grab my things. I didn't even look back. The next day I went back to the store. I tried to tell my supervisor what happened, but he just shrugged it off as mind tricks. "You're imagining things," he said. "It's just an old store, nothing to be afraid of." But the look in his eyes told me everything I needed to know. He had seen her too. It almost seemed like he knew her. When I told him that I quit, he did not seem surprised or try to talk me out of it. That's weird, I thought. I walked out of the office and toward the exit. Before I got to the door, something caught my eye on the wall. A beautiful framed picture with a newspaper article sealed into it. I leaned in and read the first few sentences. "Today, the town of Sugarloaf celebrates its 10th anniversary for a local hero," it read. I looked up at the picture, and my body shook from the chill down my spine. It looked just like the ghostly woman from the store last night. "What the hell?" I said out loud. I continued reading. Lily Rose was working her night shift at Walmart when the store was robbed by 2 men in ski masks. Lily heroically tried to keep the men in the store for the police to arrive, but was tragically shot and killed before they got there. "Holy shit," I said under my breath. Completely shook, I continued toward the exit. But before I could open the door, in my ear I heard it. Footstep sounds starting running toward me from behind. I turned quickly. Nothing. Without another thought, I darted out the door to my car. It was Lily Rose's spirit, I thought. Trapped. I would never return to that Walmart, and Lily would never let anyone forget what happened to her. Haunting and reminding us all of the tragedy that took her life that fateful night,